Okay, can you hear me now? You should be able to. I'm using a new mic and I think that I've got it working right now, so I hope so. Yes, yay! Okay, so I do see there's one person on. Thank you so much for the feedback. I do appreciate that. And I am so sorry that the last couple of weeks I have had issues with the microphone. I've been trying to get a better quality sound, and the results have been no sound at all. Last week I did have sound, but several minutes of the video rolled before I realized and could correct it. So, anyway, that's the past. Here we are now. I was saying though that it really blows my mind that we are still doing fireside chats on Saturday morning, and that's because of all of you. It really blows my mind. Hi, Diane. Nice to see you this morning. Thank you for joining. Thank you for joining, Jen. I appreciate that. And friends, if you are on live, please just say hello and give me your name because um, depending on which platform you got on to be on Fireside Chat, it may not show me who you are. In fact, most of the time it doesn't show me who's saying hello. So thank you for telling me who you are. I appreciate that. Um, but I want to thank all of you for just continuously being on Saturday morning. Even if you're not on the live, I get a lot of messages from people throughout the weekend that they were on the replay, and it's just like it kind of blows my mind that y'all want to be on in the morning on Saturday, and that you want to hear what's happening on Saturday morning. So, it's always different. So you never know what you're going to get. But it is appreciated, and it is because of you that I continue to do Saturday morning fireside chats. When I first started doing them, it was for a completely different reason, and it's kind of evolved into something that's been really fun for me to do, and obviously something that people are interested in being part of, because I end up with quite a lot of people who end up watching the video afterwards, even if you're not on the live. So that's pretty cool. So it is a rainy, wet, windy morning. I had plans for this afternoon to do a painting project with the girls at our church, and those plans are being canceled. Not so much for me, the rain, although I do think later it may end up being torrential rain because this is kind of tailwind of the hurricane coming in. And I know what that can be like. I was kind of hoping it would blow over, but I don't think it's going to. I think the weather's going to get a little bit worse than it is now. But yeah, so I went in my closet this morning and I thought, what is a good thing to wear today on this wet and windy morning? Not even 60 degrees yet here. So it turned out to be a nice light sweatshirt day. And I'm wearing my favorite color. And I'm wearing my daughter's earrings that she gave me for Mother's Day, which I absolutely love. So that's just kind of an intro to my day and how it's gotten started. And I don't really like the weather, but you know what? I kind of like that when it is a day that you can be indoors and you don't have to go anywhere and you can just get things done. I have quite a few things to do. I was recently asked to do some art for someone. So I've got a few pieces of art that I need to do. It's an art project. So I have 3 pieces of art that I need to do for someone. And I'm really kind of excited that I actually get the time this afternoon to do it. And yeah, I'm still praying about when I'm going to be going to Portugal. A lot of people have been asking me, hey, it looks like you're getting ready to go. And I will tell you, I'm torn between leaving mid-January or leaving the end of March. I have a couple of reasons for those, and a lot will depend. Even to go at my latest date is going to depend on moving my mom. My mom has literally pleaded with me, do not go to Portugal and leave me here in this town. I want to be near your sister. So we are looking for a place that we can move mom, that will be within, 20, 30 minutes at the most of my sister out in the Raleigh area. So if you think of it this week, please pray that we get that opportunity. God opens that door. We found one place we really love. It's where we would really love my mom to be for so many reasons. And she's on a waiting list, and we know that God could open the doors to what seems impossible now. So we're praying for that. We're praying that that's where my mom can be. I think she would be very happy there. And we would have such great peace about, I would have great peace about leaving. And it would be a great place for my sister, easy to get to, and easy access for her to do some of the things that she'll still need to do for my mom when she moves. So anyway, a little background on my life. But I was thinking this morning, of course, in my prayer time, I always ask the Lord, what are we going to what do you want me to share this morning? And the passage that came to me this morning was 1 Corinthians 9:24-27. I've always loved this passage in the Bible. It is about running the race. And I'm not going to tell you about the scripture. I'm just going to go ahead and read it. It's just 4 verses. And then I'll go into some insight that just came to me this morning about this scripture as in my prayer time today. So here we go. So 1 Corinthians 9:24-27. And I'm reading this out of the New Living Translation, which I love. I'm on a side note, I just want to say this is not the only scripture that I refer to when I read the scriptures. I like using other versions, but I always come back to this one because after reading other ones, when I come back to this one seems to kind of flesh it out for me and help me kind of visualize the meaning of it as it applies to my living. So maybe that'll do that for you as well. But I did want you to know NLT is not the only version that I use. And I love using Bible Gateway. There are probably other platforms, but I've been using this one for many years. And I love using it because it's just such easy access to so many other versions, which you can read the same passage in several versions. It just really gives you a broader view of what the writer of that passage is talking about. So here we go. Don't you realize that in a race, everyone runs, but only one person gets the prize? So run to win. All athletes are disciplined in their training. They do it to win a prize that will fade away, but we do it for an eternal prize. So I run with purpose in every step. I am not just shadow boxing. I discipline my body like an athlete, training it to do what it should. Otherwise, I fear that after preaching to others, I myself might be disqualified. I love that. I love the fact that Paul is talking about life in general as a race. And he's absolutely not talking about the rat race we live in our culture. Let me just be clear. Although the rat race in our culture does provide for us many opportunities to do the training it takes to run the race that Paul's talking about. So there is significance to that in that context. I was thinking this morning about this. He is talking about a race that we win, right? But he's also talking about the prep that it takes to run that race and run it well and win. What I love is that, or what came to me this morning is that we spend more time, or athletes, and we should spend more time in the preparation of the race than the race itself. That is key, I believe, to facing the hurdles, the obstacles, the pitfalls, the bends in the road, the twists and turns, and all of the things that may happen on that track. we have to be ready to face them all. And life gives us that preparation. We are strengthening our spiritual muscles every single day. So, for us in the spiritual sense, I think it's fair to say that we are actually preparing for the race and running the race every single day. So, every day we have opportunity to win. Every day we are strengthening our spiritual muscles to be the winner. Isn't that cool? That really gives you a lot of food for thought today. Um, and I'm saying this because Paul says in verse 26, so I run with purpose in every step. And he's talking about not just in the race, but in every step, every day. He's talking about not shadow boxing. So we need to make sure we're not fooling ourselves, that we are really conquering the challenges that life throws in our path. And we're not fooling ourselves in thinking that we got it down. I got it down now. I know how to run this race, because I can tell you right now, if we think that, there are going to be obstacles thrown in our lives that are going to throw us for a loop, and it'll be a setback. I'm not saying this is such a fine line, because in one way I'm saying prepare for all the hurdles, which sounds like a bummer. Sounds like a negative. Oh my gosh, she's not thinking very positive. No, I'm saying life does. I'm looking at reality. Life does throw us hurdles. I mean, a fine example. Okay. I had no idea Mike was going to die almost 3 years ago. Okay. I had no idea. No idea. We don't want to live life thinking, yeah, what horrible thing is going to happen today, and have that already. Oh, come on, we're losing our fire here. I just stoked it. Anyway, we don't want to live life like constantly bummed because it's not going to go our way today. We want to live life thankful for the muscle we built yesterday and the season before to help us today run the race that we have before us today with whatever obstacles may appear. That is different than always thinking the day is going to be bad, because that's just how it goes for me. Okay. It is different. It's a fine line. It might sound the same, but honestly, the heart in both of those are completely different. The mindset for both of those is completely different. To live today and know that something really challenging may come my way that I wasn't expecting is not me jinxing my day. It's not me being a bummer. It's me realizing that in life, there are going to be things that happen that we don't expect. And in some ways, we can have the expectation they might happen today. In fact, in some measure, mild or extreme, they will happen today. The Christ-like way, though, to face our day and run the race and prepare for the race is to recognize, I don't know what's coming, but the Lord knows. He's prepared me for whatever comes today. And in living it out and working through it with Christ today is going to give me the spiritual muscle I need for whatever happens tomorrow. Do you see the difference? The difference is we're living victoriously, even in the challenges. Or we're bummed out. We're always a downer. We're never winning. So those are our two options. And I love that Paul emphasizes here in this passage that we have to discipline our spiritual muscles. We have to discipline. We have to do the work. We have to see the opportunities today that strengthen our spiritual maturity for tomorrow. And we have to recognize that maybe there are things that we are hoping for or wanting in our lives. I was just having a conversation with someone recently in my life about their wanting something so bad that when they really began to seriously think and pray about where they were at mentally with it, they realized they were idolizing this particular thing and not allowing Christ to fill their life, so much so that that thing would not be important anymore, that it would not become the one thing that they feel would fulfill their life. And I think that's a good way of a good perspective on how we run the race, that God gives us everything we need for today, for whatever obstacles may come our way. And I would not say that God is the one who throws the obstacles in our path. And sometimes he might, because they might be things that he knows are going to strengthen our faith. I wouldn't say they're always from God, though. I like to think God already has the expectation of our faith. He already has the expectation that we are going to have faith in him when the obstacle comes. So the obstacles come, it doesn't even matter where they come from, okay? Trials are going to happen in life, but they are the very thing that helps us to gain strength, become more mature spiritually, and win the battles of today and the ones that we're going to meet tomorrow. So I hope that's an encouragement to all of you today. I think that this completely relates for me personally, not just in my thinking about the things that are coming in the days ahead as I work with my friends in Portugal in the near future, but also in the way that God is preparing me now to best work with my friends when I get there. And this particular time in my life, I really think that is what God is showing us. I'm not sure who this is that said this, but thank you so much. That she's saying is so true, and that she appreciates me sharing my thoughts. You know, when I share these things on Fireside Chat, or even the things that I share in the mornings, every morning on my Facebook posts, I want y'all to know I don't approach these things like, oh, what wisdom can I pull out of my hat today? No. A lot of times, and I've shared this before, I don't even know what I'm going to write on Facebook in the morning, and I don't even know what I'm going to share on Fireside Chat when I wake up on Saturday morning. I truly don't. But as I feel like something's coming to me and I start thinking about it, it's ministering to my own heart. And that is the indication to me that it might minister to you. I just think that's really cool that God, that's how God has me prepare for these things. And there have been some mornings when I've gotten on Fireside Chat that, quite honestly, still nothing's come to me. And I have to kind of, I wouldn't say pull it out of the hat, but I have to just let it roll. I think that's another way, you know, sometimes that's how God has us prepare for tomorrow, and also strengthen our muscles, our faith muscles for today. I think a good example of that was when I was in Portugal a few weeks ago. And, it was not my original plan to go to Portugal and rent a car and drive 2 hours north. It really was not my plan. I I sensed several weeks before I left that might be a good idea, but I so didn't want that I to tried to arrange any other plan, and it didn't work. In fact, at the last minute, my friends and my realtor's cars, both of them, were out of commission, and there was no way we were going to be able to use either one of them. Um, there were no other cars to use, and so my other option was to get out of the airport, find an Uber, be English speaking, and then get to either a bus station or a train station. Hope that I didn't fall asleep on the bus or the train. Hope I didn't have to change trains or buses on the way. And hope I didn't fall asleep because I might miss my stop. Hope that I would recognize the name when I was there if I was on either way. And the other thing was hope that the trains who often suddenly out of the blue go on strike didn't go on strike, because what would I do then? At least I was in Lisbon, where you'll find a lot of English speaking people. So I decided that the best thing for me to do was what I knew eventually I'd have to do anyway: rent a car and learn how to drive through the country. In doing so, for 3 hours, I was kind of stuck in Lisbon. Like literally, I really couldn't go anywhere for several different reasons. And I had to pray every second of that time that the Lord would help me get through this obstacle, that obstacle, this obstacle, that obstacle, this obstacle. Literally, that's what those 3 hours was about. And all of a sudden, I was given the freedom to go. I could go. I put the car in reverse. I had the GPS was ready. Everything was working, and it looked like I was headed where I had to go, because the GPS was saying 197 kilometers. And I'm like, well, it must be sending me somewhere that's 2 hours away. So that's how I did that trip. Okay. And that's another good analogy of this. If I had not already had the spiritual maturity that was strong enough to believe God would provide everything I needed every single second of those 3 hours and beyond, what would I have done in Lisbon? Probably sat in the airport and cried my head off. I probably would have just gotten on another plane, changed my flight, and come back home defeated. But I didn't. And that's not kudos to me. That's kudos to God, because because God has strengthened my spiritual muscles prior to the day that I arrived. To be perfectly honest with you, I didn't even want to fly there alone. But God has grown my spiritual, or strengthened my spiritual muscles over the years. And that is what I believe God wants me to do in things like my posts on the morning and my fireside chats. For those of you, and there are many of you that are on here that have way stronger spiritual muscles than me, and I appreciate your encouragement. And there are some who need their muscles strengthened, and I hope that the Lord will use my testimonies and insight that he seems to give me when I do these to strengthen your own spiritual muscles, to be able to meet the obstacles in your own race that will strengthen you for the race you're going to win, you're going to run tomorrow. So that's my message. I hope it's an encouragement to all of you. I hope that you have a great day. And if you're in the path of the hurricane, like we are here, even though we're not really in the path of the hurricane, we're in the path of the tailwind of it. And it is windy, and it's going to get windier, I think. But I hope this little analogy gives you some food for thought as it applies to your own life, to the challenges in the season you may be facing right now, or in the challenges that just come up today, because the challenges, how you meet the challenges that come up today, are going to be the very things that are going to give you the muscle and the spiritual maturity and the strength to be able to run the race for the next big season when you have bigger challenges. So I love you all. Please give thought to this today as it relates to the things that are going on in your own life, and the way that God has worked in your life in the past, and the way in which you sense He will provide and protect and continue to grow you in the days ahead. That's what it's all about, y'all. Life with Christ and Christ in us. So I hope you have a great weekend. Um, make it make it a day that you can go to sleep tonight and say, you know what, Jesus, my I had challenges today, but with you, I won. I won today. And I won because of you, because you gave me everything I needed to run the race today. And you will give me everything I need to run the race in this season and in the race tomorrow, a winner with you. Um, I love you all, and I will see you again next Saturday on Fireside Chat. Bye, everyone.